Insight 146. Sure enough, breasts are prominent. Prominent means outstanding, means quite different than other things. So let's say you have some people. Person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, and then person 5. Person 5. There's these other guys, and then there's person 5. Person 5 is very tall, so he's very prominent. He stands out from the rest. He's quite different. So sure enough, breasts are prominent, three-dimensional objects. Therefore, this fact adds more intrigue to the mind. Having grasped, meaning understood, somewhat the idea of the breasts, meaning having experienced this, having understood, the mind has understood, engaged in understanding the size of the breasts. Having grasped somewhat the idea of the breasts, you would like to experience them physically. Just a thought, anticipation, and or imagination of what you would do and how you would handle the breasts might urge your genitals to become active. So they're three-dimensional objects, so you're aware of this when you see it. And so when you are observing with your mind the breast, or the breasts, there's two of them, so therefore you're aware of this. Makes a double impact there. And then you don't see it, you're not aware of it only from frontal. You're aware that this is a three-dimensional object. And if the person is in motion so that you can see sideways, so you're aware that, this is making an impression on your mind, both frontal and from the sides. And so therefore, your mind is quite engaged in trying to observe and understand this physical object. Let's say you're seeing it only from the front. Still, your mind tries to grasp its understanding of the whole object from all sides. And so therefore, its imagination of the mind works even more harder, more engaged in trying to ascertain, trying to measure, trying to understand and know, to calculate the dimensions of this breast or breasts, including the nipple. That's an added thing that, again, the mind is observing. Observing and absorbing. So the three-dimensional objects, they're prominent, they're more outstanding than others, therefore it makes a big impression. I remember speaking to a guy who was saying that he was quite impacted by the very round buttocks of certain women, and the way he would describe it was very impactful. Exactly, quite impactful, very round, and so similarly quite impactful to the mind. Having grasped somewhat the idea of the breasts, you would like to experience them physically. Right, so we had talked about this earlier, very early on, I believe inside 2 or somewhere along there, that when the mind gets engaged in thinking about something, right, finds the features pleasureful and interactive, you go, I like the features, and not only do you see them, you want to touch them, you want to get to know it by physical means, by any and all means, not just the touch of your eye, for it to touch your eye by the light, but you want to touch it and engage in it in every possible way that you can imagine, including physically. You want to get to experience the object. Often you might see dogs I don't have a dog, but I could imagine this could be a possibility, why a dog would chew on various objects, such as the remote control or other things. The dog could be frustrated of seeing other adults interacting with these various objects around the house, and the dog may also want to interact, but he cannot interact as an adult does. Most of the dog's interaction with objects is by eating and chewing, so he does that. He gets his satisfaction of interacting by chewing and interacting and licking and all these things. So that's when he engages with the remote control, getting an experience of it, however he can interact with it. Just a thought and anticipation or imagination of what you would do and how you would handle the breasts, right, might urge your genitals to become active. Yeah, so this is that feeling that we're talking about. You're thinking of this and it's really impactful to your mind. You're seeing the breasts and you're like, wow, you're imagining it, how it is, and how then you want to interact with it. And then when you want to interact with it, you're now feeling it quite strongly, the connection, the interaction, you're imagining it, and so therefore your genitals, your privates might become active because you're imagining it happening. You're imagining engaging in interaction with it, with the object, or with the objects or persons, and so therefore your body is the object of the breasts. So you're focusing on the breasts, and you want to interact with it, and so your body reacts to the imaginative interaction as if it is actually happening. Because as many have said before, many others have said that your body or you can't tell the difference between reality and what is happening in the mind. It just reacts to it as if it is real.